With Joe Biden taking over as the new president of the United States, there is a whole lot of change on the horizon for how the government in America does business. While the economic stimulus and recovery package is taking center stage right now, and will probably continue to do so for a while, we still have a lot to unpack when it comes to this new government's approach to green energy and renewables. Coming off 4 years of Donald Trump trying to convince us that coal is clean energy, it obviously wouldn't take much to look progressive by comparison. But so far, with his early policy announcements, Joe Biden has been making a point of going hard into green, renewable energy. And he's specifically directed much of his new policy at the electric vehicle market. Biden has come out with a bold vision that America can get back to the top of the automobile industry by doubling down on electric cars made in the USA. This is just early days of a brand new government, and we know that things can change fast when it comes to politics. So keeping that in mind, let's take a look at President Biden's vision for the future of electric vehicles in America and how that might impact Tesla. Speaking of planning for the future, investing in your future is key to financial success, and our partners at BlockFi can help. Besides being obsessed with everything Tesla, we are also pretty deep into the crypto world, and BlockFi is something I personally use to earn interest on my crypto investments. BlockFi allows you to earn interest with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, or stablecoins, and there are no hidden fees in a BlockFi interest account, just a return of up to 8.6%. For a limited time, you can earn a crypto bonus of up to $250 when you open a new account using our link in the description down below. Plus, you will really be helping us continue to make some more content for you here on the Tesla Space channel. Just use the link blockfi.com/theteslaspace, again in the description down below, to sign up and receive your $250 in bonus cryptocurrency. Thank you for your continued support, and let's get back to the video. If you are an electric vehicle owner or just someone who has been shopping around for one in the last few years, then this is something that has probably weighed heavy in your buying decision. At its inception, this federal program incentivized plug-in electric vehicle buyers by providing them a $7,500 non-refundable tax credit after the purchase of their vehicle. So this applied to any fully electric car and any hybrid car that could be plugged in to charge. It's important to first understand that this is just a tax credit. It doesn't reduce the price you pay for the car. It's not cash back, and it's not a tax refund. All this does is reduce your overall tax liability at the end of the year. Whether or not this is a big deal for you depends on your employment and tax situation. Now, the biggest problem with these credits today is that they are disappearing from the most popular electric car brands, and that's the first thing Joe Biden intends to fix. The program was originally written with caps on vehicle production numbers, so when Tesla hit 200,000 vehicles produced, the credit on their cars dropped by half down to $3,750. As Tesla built even more cars, the credit was cut in half again, and then completely disappeared in 2020. The only other manufacturer to hit the 200,000 vehicle mark has been General Motors, and they will be losing the credit entirely this year in March. Biden's intention is to return the full $7,500 tax credit to all EV purchases in the United States, with the only difference being that this will now only apply to individuals who make less than $250,000 per year of income. But some extra features of the tax credit that we'd like to see would be tying it to vehicle cost with a price cap so that folks buying a Tesla Roadster are not getting federal help that should be going to those buying a Tesla Model Y, and also making this a refundable credit so that people who do not pay large amounts of taxes can still get their incentive in the form of a tax refund. Finally, because we know Biden is focused heavily on his Buy American policy, it would make sense for ongoing tax credits to primarily benefit vehicles from American companies that are made in America, which could actually be bad news for Ford as they chose to build their Mach-E in Mexico. Actual cash rebates will most likely be coming through as well, though this will be focused on vehicle trade-ins, not purchases. Biden has said that he supports a cash for clunkers style of rebate program that would encourage Americans to trade in their old vehicles for new EVs. Joe's old boss, Barack Obama, did something very similar back in the recession of 2009. He created the car allowance rebate system, which offered up to $4,500 in trade-in bonus for Americans to swap out their old clunker for a new fuel-efficient vehicle. The US government is also expected to use regulation to push both consumers and manufacturers away from fossil fuel cars as well. During his campaign, Biden vowed to establish ambitious fuel economy standards. This could take the form of regular emissions testing for private vehicles like they have in California, where you have to take the car into a garage every couple of years and they measure the amount of pollution coming out of the tailpipe. If that emission goes over a threshold, then you have to fix the car until it starts running cleaner. That can be anything from routine maintenance to replacing big chunks of the exhaust system. Then there are emissions regulations for new cars coming out of the factory. Under Barack Obama, US automakers were supposed to increase the fuel efficiency of their fleets by 5% annually from 2021 through 2026. Of course, Donald Trump rolled in and cut that number down to just 1.5%. So expect Biden to at least return that figure back to where it was and likely push even further towards reducing emissions. Biden seems to be in line with other political leaders who are looking at the year 2030 to be about the end for gasoline-powered vehicle production. And this two-pronged approach makes the most sense. By making EVs more attractive to car buyers and at the same time making the production of internal combustion vehicles less profitable for manufacturers. Here's another really good sign that the Biden administration is taking this all very seriously. They aren't just focused on buying and selling cars, they are talking about the new infrastructure that is going to be needed for an electric vehicle future. That means charging stations and lots of them. Joe has made the promise of 500,000 EV charging stations in America by 2030. That's going to take a significant ramp up as they are currently somewhere around 30,000 public charging stations in the country, and there are no particular details on how the government will be supporting this new construction. But the EV infrastructure is included in Biden's $400 billion plan for public investment in clean energy. However the support comes, it will be much needed if charging stations are going to start replacing gas stations on city streets. For comparison, there are right now about 136,000 gas stations in America. Biden's vision is for every American to be able to drive coast to coast an electric vehicle without any worry about range. Biden is even going so far as talking about rebuilding roadways to better accommodate electric and autonomous vehicles, and he's open to the idea of charging infrastructure built into roadways that could add range to vehicles as they drive over it. Now, this is probably the most exciting aspect of the entire Joe Biden EV plan. He has committed to transitioning all government vehicles from fossil fuel over to electric. There's been no specific timeline given, but most of these policies seem to be focused around the year 2030 to 2035 as the era when the pendulum fully swings from fossil fuel over to electricity. With this policy, we are looking at around 645,000 vehicles that would need to be replaced with electrified equivalents. This covers a huge range of vehicles, not just cars and SUVs, but also military vehicles, post office delivery vans. Biden is even talking about swapping out 200,000 school buses for electric options. This is a huge project to take on, and it's a key pillar in the new government's Buy American program. All of these new EVs have to be made in America by American workers using American components. Biden has brought up recently that for a vehicle to be considered American made, it only needs 50% of the components to be American in origin, and automakers have been cheating this by only making the cheapest parts in the US and outsourcing to foreign countries for glass, steel, and engines. Joe wants to put a stop to that. As much as this is about clean energy, it's also about bringing manufacturing back to America and creating more good jobs for the American workers. And this is long overdue. Take the US Postal Service delivery fleet, for example. They've been using the same Grumman delivery trucks since the 1980s. These are prime subjects to be replaced with electric vehicles. They're big, they only travel short distances, but they are constantly starting and stopping. Put fuel aside and just imagine how many brake pads and rotors they go through with these things that could be saved by regenerative braking in an electric version. You could drop a huge battery pack in one of these and it would run all day on one charge, no problem. And this opens up a whole new market for EV startups that are specializing in delivery vehicles. Take Lightning eMotors in Colorado, for example. They're a relatively new company that specializes in electrifying big vehicles like passenger vans, delivery trucks, ambulances, even city buses. Even with the pandemic raging, they've been ramping up production and hiring more workers. A big federal contract could be the thing that pushes a company like this from a startup into a Fortune 500. This opens up so many possibilities for every electric vehicle maker in the US. Why not load up the military with Cybertrucks, Hummer EVs, and Rivians? Swap out the president's Cadillac limo for some stretched out bulletproof Tesla Model S. A whole fleet of beefed up Model X SUVs for federal agents to roll around in. The possibilities here are basically endless, and the further they push this, the more the American economy will grow. Now, needless to say, this has a potential major impact on Tesla being the largest and most successful American electric vehicle manufacturer. Now, could they produce all 645,000 vehicles for the government? I mean, maybe, but even if they get a portion of that, that's still a massive increase to the potential production and sales for Tesla, which means more revenue and ultimately a higher stock price. So the future is looking brighter than ever for electric vehicles. Make sure to let us know in the comments section what you are most excited for in all this new government policy. If you've made it this far in the video, you will probably love our new Tesla Space newsletter. It's a weekly update on Elon Musk's chaotic life, Tesla and SpaceX news, and some stocks and crypto thrown in for good measure. Link to sign up in the description down below. It only takes a second, and we really appreciate your support on the channel. Don't forget to snag your $250 in free cryptocurrency with BlockFi while you're down there as well. If you want to continue to learn about everything regarding Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk, we've got 2 more video options for you on the screen to check out. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it, and subscribe to our channel for weekly content just like this.